Robert Kiyosaki, a famous businessman, entrepreneur, and author of widely acclaimed book Rich Dad Poor Dad, once said, "A wealthy person is simply someone who has learned to make money when they're not working." Robert is now worth $80 million and earns $2 million a month for his various investments and businesses. In this episode of Earning Passive Income with Cryptocurrency, we're going to be taking a look at Lisk, the German-based blockchain protocol that pays you just for keeping your tokens in a digital wallet. So what is Lisk? Well, Lisk is a blockchain protocol. It's an ecosystem that's been in development since May 2016. Lisk has been designed around using JavaScript as its main programming language to target the millions of experienced JavaScript developers out there at the moment. And this allows developers to build decentralized applications and to even launch their own fully customizable sidechain. This sidechain feature is to mitigate issues with scaling and flexibility down the track, as developers can fully customize their own blockchains, but these blockchains are still linked to the main Lisk blockchain. Much like Ethereum, Lisk will allow decentralized applications to be built and will also allow developers and founders to launch their own ICOs and to create their own unique tokens. Lisk is a public blockchain, which means that all the transactions and all the data occurring on the network at the time can be fully viewed and verifiable by anyone in the world, much like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and other permissionless blockchain architectures. Lisk is unique because it's using JavaScript as its main programming language, so it targets the millions of experienced web developers at the moment in an effort to try and speed up the adoption, the usage, and the developers who can use the Lisk blockchain and ecosystem. This is intended to not only let the Lisk ecosystem grow rapidly, but to also lower the barrier of entry for existing developers who wish to start deploying and playing with decentralized applications. So how does Lisk differ from all the other blockchain architectures out there at the moment, like Neo, Ethereum, Cardano, Icon, and all the others? Well, Lisk has developed something called sidechains, which means that each developer can build their own customizable sidechain that's still linked to the main Lisk blockchain. And as we said earlier, this is to combat things like scalability, but to also allow flexibility as the ecosystem grows and matures. This will allow companies and developers to launch their own ICOs and to even create their own unique cryptocurrency tokens on the network, much like what's happened on Ethereum at the moment with the ERC20 token. Lisk has paid a lot of attention to user experience, branding, marketing, and education. This is evident based on the amount of documentation and information available on the website, but also through applications like the Lisk Hub, which is an all-in-one wallet and software development kit for developers and for users who wish to either use it as a wallet or to deploy their own sidechains. So what about the Lisk token itself? What's that actually used for? Well, the Lisk token is used in a variety of ways within the Lisk ecosystem. When decentralized applications are built on the Lisk platform, it requires the Lisk token for entry and for fees. For example, to register an application on the Lisk blockchain, it costs 25 Lisk tokens. Or if you want to register as a delegate and run a node, that also costs 25 tokens. A portion of the Lisk token is also used for transaction fees and for other payment mechanisms within the ecosystem. Because companies can launch an ICO on the Lisk blockchain, people can actually use Lisk tokens to participate in future ICOs, much like people do today with Ether and then participating in Ethereum-based ICO crowdfunding. Over time, as more ICOs are deployed, there's likely to be demand for the token as companies use it for operational expenses and for investors who use it to contribute to the ICO. The token is also used as a monetary incentive to keep the network secure. One, for delegates who register nodes and then distribute towards to people staking, and then for the stakers themselves who vote for these delegates and receive a portion of those rewards as time goes on and more blocks are confirmed. This provides incentives for investors and for those running a node, as the longer and the more tokens they hold, the more rewards that can be generated over time. And rewards are paid as passive income as the Lisk token itself. So how does the passive income part of Lisk actually work? Well, Lisk has designed its blockchain architecture to use a consensus mechanism called DPoS, which stands for Delegated Proof of Stake. This allows people to register as delegates and run a node, and it also allows for people who hold the Lisk token to stake those tokens in a digital wallet and to vote for delegates and receive a portion of the rewards that the delegates receive. These rewards are distributed as more Lisk tokens and are distributed in a way that is completely passive. Once those tokens are sitting in a Lisk wallet and have been staked, then more tokens will come into the wallet in a completely passive way over time, depending on how many Lisk tokens you hold. Lisk has designed the creation of new Lisk tokens to slow down over time, following a linear block reward reduction. For example, at the moment when a delegate confirms a block, they receive 5 Lisk tokens as a reward. But over time, and that's around about a year, Lisk have actually programmed into the source code for that reward to reduce by 1 Lisk token per year. So in the second year, that'll reduce to 4 Lisk tokens. In the third year, that'll reduce to 3. In the fourth to 2, and in the fifth, down to 1 token. And that's where it will remain for any time ongoing after that. So over time, as network demand increases, the amount of Lisk coming into circulation will decrease. And this essentially encourages scarcity over time for that token. So what about the Lisk token on markets? How is it valued and where can you get it? Well, the Lisk token, like every other cryptocurrency, is traded on exchanges. And this means its price is subject to external forces such as supply and demand and speculation. The price of the token fluctuates accordingly and could go up or down in a very volatile way. In January 2018, the Lisk token peaked at $38 US. At the time of recording this video, the Lisk tokens hit about $4.89. This is around an 87.5% reduction in value since the start of the year. This is an 87.56% reduction in value from its all-time high back in January. Much like all other staking cryptocurrencies, the amount of Lisk you can earn passively is proportional to the quantity that you hold and not the USD or fiat value that you purchased that cryptocurrency for. This means that if you were to purchase Lisk now to earn a certain dividend rate, it would be 87.56% cheaper now than what it would have been back in January. So how much can you earn when you start staking Lisk? Well, this all depends again on the quantity that you hold and not the actual dollar value that that quantity was worth when you bought it or what it's worth at today's value. Thankfully, there's websites out there like earnlisk.com that give you an approximate dividend payout per month based on the quantity of Lisk tokens you hold. For a balance of 1,000 Lisk, the approximate dividend payout is around 9 Lisk tokens per month, or around about 108 tokens per year. This equates to around a 12.3% dividend payout for the year in Lisk tokens. Now this assumes that you left all the tokens in the wallet and allowed them to compound over time as that initial quantity grows more and more as more tokens are paid out in dividends. The return in fiat dollars, as in US dollars or Australian dollars, would depend on the current market rate for the token being traded on exchanges. For example, if we were to buy 1,000 Lisk tokens and then Lisk appreciated by 5% per month for 12 months, then our return on our initial investment would be around about 60%. And that's excluding the dividends we would have got if we staked those tokens. But here's the thing, because dividend tokens are deposited automatically into your wallet, you could be making returns based on the time that they hit your wallet and on your initial investment to begin with. The effects of compounding can be truly remarkable here. If we were to apply a 5% token appreciation on the dividend tokens, assuming that we had 1,000 tokens to begin with, then by the end of the year, that would be an additional 25% return on our initial investment. The final return for investment based on the initial investment of the 1,000 tokens, the dividends, and then the appreciation of the dividends as well, would equate to around an 85% return for the year. This really highlights the power of cryptocurrency staking and compounding over time. An interesting point to note, that 1,000 Lisk tokens at the time of recording this video is around $5,000 US. At the start of the year in January, for the same amount of tokens would have cost you around $38,000 US dollars. So now we've covered the background, how do we go about earning some passive Lisk? Well, there's 2 ways. The first way is to become a delegate and run a node. And the second way is to stake those tokens in a digital wallet. The first option is pretty tricky and requires a lot of technical know-how. Plus you're competing with hundreds, if not thousands of other people out there who want to run a node and who have very high performance metrics in terms of their uptime. The second way, the way that we stake in the wallet, is far more simple and far more feasible. So that's what we're going to concentrate on here. Now, before we can actually start, some Lisk tokens have got to be bought to stake with to begin with. Places you can buy these are like CoinSpot here in Australia, where you can buy that for Australian dollars, or on exchanges like Binance, where it can be bought for Bitcoin or Ethereum. At least 4 Lisk tokens are required to cast votes for delegates to start earning passive income. So when you're purchasing Lisk, you need to purchase a set amount plus 4 tokens spare that are going to be used as payment to cast those votes. You then need to download the Lisk Hub, which is the new core wallet client used for staking tokens and for voting for delegates. To download the wallet, just head to lisk.io/hub. Run the installer, install the application, and open it up when it's finished. If you don't have an existing Lisk ID, you'll have to create a new one. And it's a pretty easy process. Just be sure to store your 12-word seed phrase in a very safe place, offline off your computer and somewhere where it can't be lost or stolen. You'll then need to send the Lisk tokens you bought on an exchange to your new wallet, using the new wallet address you were given when you created your Lisk ID. If you haven't sent tokens from an exchange before, there'll be a link above to an exchange tutorial that you can follow that will help you. So while you're waiting for the Lisk tokens to arrive in your wallet, go to the Lisk Hub settings, and on the right under Advanced Features, click the slider button to enable delegate features. You will now see a menu on the left that says Delegates. Click on this. Here is where you'll see all the delegates. And these are the nodes that we mentioned earlier that are all competing for your votes based on their productivity and rewards. You'll need to vote for 101 delegates, which is the maximum that it allows. Each vote lets you cast a selection of 33 votes maximum. Because we need to vote for 101 delegates, we need to vote 4 times. And because each vote costs 1 Lisk, this is why we needed 4 Lisk tokens to begin with. To work out who to vote for and to follow the easy process, head to earnlisk.com. These guys have made it easy for us by summarizing all the most highest performing nodes and the nodes that also pay the biggest dividends. Scrolling down the page, you'll see 4 lists of batches with 4 green buttons that says vote 1 to 4. These batches have been put together based on the highest dividend payouts and the highest performing nodes to maximize your dividend payouts. To begin the voting process, just ensure that you've got the Lisk Hub open and then click on the Vote 1 green button. You may be prompted asking whether you can open the Lisk Hub with the votes. Make sure to click OK. Lisk Hub should automatically populate with the first 33 votes. Follow the steps to give 1 Lisk for your first batch of votes. Simply follow the exact same steps and procedure from votes 2 to 4. Once you finish that, you are done voting. That is the hard work completely gone. Your tokens in your wallet will now be staking and earning you rewards. It really is as easy as that. Your tokens are now staking live on the Lisk network, earning you passive income in the form of more Lisk tokens. That being said, there's still some special considerations that we need to remember with staking cryptocurrencies. The first consideration is the frequency of Lisk payouts, as in how often do you receive dividend rewards? Well, because sending some Lisk costs 0.1 Lisk tokens, delegates will generally wait until your reward has hit around 1 full Lisk token before sending it to your wallet. The process is fully automatic. But if you don't have a lot of Lisk tokens to begin with, this could take a few weeks before you generate enough of the dividend to reach 1 full Lisk token. But on the other hand, if you have quite a significant amount of Lisk, let's say 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000, they could come in as frequently as every day or every couple of days. The second consideration is you do not need to have your wallet open to stake. In fact, you don't even need to have your wallet installed on your computer once your votes are cast, because your Lisk tokens are actually stored on the Lisk blockchain. Therefore, once you've casted your votes, you will continue to earn dividends whether you open your wallet in a 6-month period, whether you uninstall it, whether you close your computer, whatever. You are passively earning income. But on that note, delegates' performance may change over time, meaning that you may actually have to change your votes to ensure you're getting the most optimal payouts and the best rewards. That being said, from my experience, having been someone that's staked for several months, I haven't had to change my votes once, as generally the best nodes continue to stay performing. Another important consideration is that delegated proof of stake systems are still new, they're still in their infancy, and should still be considered experimental. And lastly, any dividends may be subject to either capital gains or other form of income tax. Based on your jurisdiction on where you live, you should consult an accountant or your local tax office to ensure that you're covered from a tax perspective. And that's it, that's the video done. I hope you enjoyed this episode of earning passive income with cryptocurrency with Lisk. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like, we really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to hit the button to come on board and join the Cryptocurrency Australia team. If you're looking to improve your cryptocurrency investment skills, check out the link below to our top-rated course hosted on udemy.com, and make sure to come and visit us on Reddit, which is where our community forum is. Also be sure to check out our official website. Thanks again for watching, my name's Bo, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Cheers.